have an old friend of multifamily design and construction and building design and construction with us today, Manny Gonzalez, FAIA. He's a fellow of the AIA and a principal with KTGY Architecture and Planning out in California. And Manny's probably designed and built enough multifamily housing to populate a large city in this country. So we're going to talk to Manny today about something he's very interested in, universal design and what that means. Now, Manny, universal design, there's some confusion as to whether is that ADA, is that Disabilities Act stuff or what?
No, first of all, Rob, let me just say I'm happy to be here. I wish we could do this in person, but this is the best that we can do given where we are.
Right.
And to answer your question, universal design has absolutely nothing to do with ADA. It tries to accomplish a lot of the same things, but it does it in a much better way. And I think one of the best ways of explaining it is what Mary Jo Peterson used to say is, you don't notice universal design until you benefit from using it. So it's taking things like a grab bar, which the ADA requires, but whenever you see an ADA grab bar, it's a round bar that looks institutional, looks like a hospital.
Ugly.
Yeah, these manufacturers today, like Kohler, are making beautiful ones. Their choreograph line is absolutely spectacular, and you would never know it's a grab bar. It looks like a piece of decoration in a bathroom.
Right.
So you're able to use it like a grab bar, but it doesn't meet ADA. So all the things that ADA tries to do, universal design generally does better and in a more beautiful way, a more graceful way.
Yeah, I'm going to read off 7 principles of universal design that were developed and that you implement: equitable use, flexibility, simple and intuitive, provides perceptible information, tolerance for errors if there's a mistake, low physical effort, size and space is appropriate. All kind of common sense things, isn't it? I mean, it's just kind of common sense, isn't it?
They really are. And then I think, one of my favorites is putting an outlet at light switch height. And we actually have one in our house. It was put in there 60 years ago when our home was built, kind of as an accident, but we use it all the time. You plug the vacuum into it, you don't have to bend over to open it. So it's thinking of things like that. And it works great. You put it right inside your door in a bedroom or hallway. It's great. You don't do it in the living room, but you put it in places where it's really useful. Same sort of thing in the kitchen with drawers. It's a lot easier to pull out a drawer and get to what's in the back of the drawer than it is to open up a cupboard and try to reach all the way back there to get the pot or pan or plate that you need.
Right.
And when you think about it, it's actually cheaper than doing what other people do, which is have the doors and then have a tray that slides out behind the doors because you're putting more hardware in there. So all these things are really simple. They make it easier to live, but they can actually be less expensive than what we're doing today.
And you got again, common sense things like slip resistant flooring in a bath and kitchen.
Absolutely, especially if you don't have a grab bar. You know what? I mean, all those little things go together. And I hate to say it, but I'm 65 now, and these things that I've been designing for 20 years, I'm starting to use it.
Well, I got you by 10 years, Maddie. So we'll see. And touch activated faucets are becoming. Hey, with COVID, it's even better. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's things that we've been talking about for years. It makes sense. And I bet every manufacturer of any faucet has touch-free faucets these days. And when some people wouldn't do it in the past, but I'll guarantee you everybody's doing it today.
All right.
Just so you don't have to touch things.
I should have said touch-free instead of touch-activated, although both are probably pretty good.
Yeah, they both work.
Lighting is in universal design, and color are very important elements, particularly in senior living and in assisted living, memory care, and so forth. But any place. So talk about lighting and color, Manny.
Well, what happens with your eyes actually start disintegrating or going bad as you get older. So like you, I wear glasses. I barely passed my driver's license test on wearing my glasses because my eyes just keep getting worse. And it just happens. They break down. It's part of aging. But your eyes cannot differentiate between grays and blues. You have a little more difficulty seeing things. So when you start having corners or things that you might bump into, you want to make sure you have a contrast. And at the same time, you want to ease the edges. So if you have on a kitchen island, for example, you really don't want to have any sharp corners. It's things that you want to be able to differentiate. And when you have corners in the house that you might bump into an outside corner, you want to try to have those be subtle or at least have shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And when your eyes, when you're getting dressed to go out in the daytime or the evening, you want to be able to have the light adjust to what you're going to be looking at when you go outside, assuming we start going out again.
Right.
But there's manufacturers, I know Kohler's one of them, that has a vanity mirror that will adjust, so it'll give you daytime lighting or evening lighting, so you got the right sort of look. And
you haven't got that glare look. Coming down on you. Yeah.
You want it coming from the side. So you even just go back and look at all the way that the old makeup stations were. They all have the lights on the side. It's not overhead. You're lighting the front, so you see it. And so that downlighting really is a problem. And another one, my wife and I fortunately were able to get to Tahiti to celebrate our 40th anniversary a couple of weeks ago. But one of the hotels we were in was really cool. They had lighting under the shelf in the closet. So when you open the closet door, those lights went on and you could light up the rod and everything that was hanging. So you could really see what was in your closet, even early in the morning. Right. So those sort of things. I mean, when I go to try to figure out where my socks are, I can't tell difference between the black and the navy blue. Never. Right. So you want to have lighting that helps you differentiate and enhances your experience in the home.
You know, I've heard you mention a couple of other fun things like if you're designing, put the laundry near, particularly in say a 2-bedroom apartment unit, put the laundry near the master bedroom. So that you're not transporting stuff all different levels or whatever.
In any age qualified community I try to make that happen. And we've actually done things that are pretty cool where they're right next to each other, but we'll put a cabinet piece in the wall between the two, and you open up the cabinet and there's a shelf, but you go in the laundry room and you can open the cabinet on the other side, and it just becomes kind of a pass-through for laundry. So it's like a laundry hamper that you can get to both sides, but
like a chute.
Cabinetry, it looks much nicer.
Right.
So there's little things like that. And then I know you like this one, but the package shelf or the drop space or whatever you want to call it, as you come into your house or even in a multifamily, you put it outside your front door, and it becomes a spot where you can put your package down to get your key to open up your door and then pick the package up instead of trying to hold it and find your keys in your wallet or your purse or whatever you happen to have it. But there's another thing that's going to change with COVID is touchless access to.
Yeah, well, right. And, even putting a chair in the master bedroom so that people can, put their shoes on more easily and not have the strain. I mean, simple stuff that, don't neglect this. And don't neglect these things.
It's not as easy to touch my toes today as it was 20 years ago. So tying those shoelaces is a bit of a problem. So it's these things that happen. It's just a fact of life, but you want to make things easy. And that's really what it's all about. It's design that benefits all occupants. And even that light fixture or the plug I was talking about on the wall, what if you're a mother holding a baby and you're trying to vacuum the house? You don't have to be 65 or 75 years old to benefit from it. You can be 25 and have a young toddler. So you're really doing these for everybody. And this things like the slip resistant flooring, that is truly universal. It works for everybody. And it's not just people like me that are over 65.
Right. Well, let's leave our discussion there. We're going to put up a link to an article and an AIA course that you helped, you created for us, and folks can get a 1.0 AIA Health and Safe HSW credits for taking the course. Thank you for doing that, Manny, and thank you for joining us.
As we start getting toward the end of the year, all of us architects need those credits because we
need those points exactly. All right. Well, we've been talking to Manny Gonzalez, a principal at KTGY Architecture and Planning, and an expert on universal design. Manny, always great to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Rod.